Let's go, people.
Boom. There it is. Give it up. Damn it. I guess we'll go with this. Like, how are you folks doing? How's everybody doing? My name is Tim Black. Welcome to Tim Black's The Black Table. We are in the house. It is Sunday. Happy Father's Day to all the fathers out there. We love you at Father's Day. Give it up for the fathers. We got some dads in the house, some fathers in the house. Yes, 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 y'all. In the flesh, y'all. We the best, y'all. So, I'm your host. My name is Tim Black. I do this. I've been doing this for over a decade. I continue to do this. I ain't new to this. Let me show you how I'm doing this right here live on the Tim Black Show. This is Tim Black's Black Table. Other people are also have a form of the Black Table I'm aware of now. I didn't know that. So I had to make it Tim Black's The Black Table because I ain't really trying to take nobody's name from them, but you know, it is what it is. They got their black table, we got ours. Everybody there can be more than one black table in the world. Come on now, y'all. So back to the fathers, man. Happy Father's Day, dads. We're here, we're live, we're direct for your dads, doing the show in honor of all the dads today. So I hope you're feeling okay. I hope you're at peace, relaxing and chilling. I'm not by myself. I have my partner in crime, my partner in life, ladies and gentlemen, my one and only, the beautiful, the remarkable, the effervescent, the hellacious woman, the head turner herself, Mrs. Black. Hey, Mrs. Black.
Hey, everyone.
Give it up for her.
Welcome to the live stream. Yes, happy Father's Day to all the daddies and the pop-pops out there who are taking care of the babies and who look at you as their shining light. Happy Father's Day to you. We salute you.
We salute you, fathers. It's magic what you do. Wow, man, being a dad. So my oldest son, who's been out of the house for a few years now, he hit me up today, and I was happy to hear from him. He called me up and said, "Dad, I just want you to know that every time I turn around, there's another instance where I get to learn just how lucky I was to have you. And how lucky it is for me to have my dad in my life. Dad, thank you. I love you, Dad. I love you, Dad. I love you." And I'm like, wow, I don't got no money, so please don't be calling me asking for no money. This is just your way to get money out of me. Come on now. But no. I of course, I embrace my son virtually. And I just want to let all the dads know, I know how it is, dads. See, I didn't grow up with my biological dad. I grew up with my stepdad, who I loved the hell out of my stepdad. I lost him a couple years ago, and I'm still grieving over that. But so I looked at my younger brother and my younger sister, who they grew up with their biological dad, and I was like, I always envied them. I was like, wow, you guys are so lucky. And they sort of like took it like, I felt they took it for granted. But I think it's just it's a difference when you don't have a dad constantly, like your dad, your last name, your blood, like it's different than when you do. I think, I don't know, Mrs. Black, you get where I'm coming from? I think people take it for granted when they have it, but it's a luxury. It's not out of, I want dads to know it's not out of disrespect, right? Because when you have something, you get used to having it. You don't know what it's like to not have it. And I think sometimes it feels like, where's the love? But it's like, you like an old pair of jeans, man. You always there, and they know in the back of their head they got you. Mrs. Black, you know where I'm coming from on that? Because you've seen it.
Yeah, I do. And
firsthand, you're not a man, of course, obviously.
Right.
But, yeah, what do you think?
Yeah, I agree with that. I think, even at our youngest son, it's like we're given. So it's not even a thought, about how much we love him, how much we care for him as, the other children. So it's like you do take it for granted because you've always had it there. It's never been missing. So if something's not missing, that's something you're really looking for because it's right there. So yeah, I understand. But I know that with Moose, we call Moose.
Rest in peace, Big Moose.
Absolutely.
God never forgotten Moose.
That's right. He was something else. He was your dad.
Yeah.
from what age? A very, very young age. He was pretty much the only one that you'd ever known who was in the house every day, kept a roof over your head, food in the fridge, and, and taught you life lessons.
Even when he wasn't even trying.
Exactly. So there's something to be said about that.
Definitely. It's just like I remember growing up wanting to be like Bill Cosby. And I know people, they say what they say now. They don't understand what it was like having very limited access to black men, older black men on television, and then having a Bill Cosby figure like show you different ways of parenting. And we know it was TV, but when you're a young person, you're not thinking about all that. When you're like 12, I think that's how old I was, 12, 13, something like that, when the Bill Cosby show was rocking. And I was like, man, I want to be that kind of dad, But, Dr. Huxtable was a doctor. My dad, he worked construction, a little bit different, energy level when he came home. He ain't put nobody on his knee. He sit down, he gonna drink that from that metal tumbler with some iced tea in it. That's what he gonna do, and put his work boots over there by the door, knock a little bit of that concrete off him. God bless him, God bless him. But I just remember wanting to be that kind of dad. And here's the thing. I thought I had to be like Bill Cosby to be a good dad. But my real life lessons came from my dad, Moose. And it wasn't because he had these speeches he would give. It wasn't because he held court in the living room. It was just what he did. It was getting his ass up and going to work. It was coming home. It was the grin on his face, the love he had for my mom. It was his presence, his protection, just being there physically, being in the house. It's known in the back of my head, if this water heater go out, I know I got one person I can call who will tell me before I make a dumb choice. He ain't got to come fix it, but I know, and just every once in a while, things will happen to this day, and I'll be like, I'll reach for that phone just to hear his voice, and he's not there. So folks, I'm brothers, dads, grandpas, sons. You matter. You matter. Don't you let these damn Democrats gotta make anything political on the show. Don't you let these Democrats take you out the home, and don't you tell me what your baby mama won't let you do. I don't want to hear that. Fight to the death for access to your kids.
Yeah, absolutely.
Do what you gotta do. You ain't doing nobody no favors by letting. And I know. Now look. Having said that, I understand everybody's situation is different. You may not have a Mrs. Black. You may have a Miss Blackheart, whoever that person is. People had different circumstances, so I don't want to say it's easy, but don't fall into the trap thinking you're gonna let your kids think it's you being the bad guy just to spare her. Nah. Be honest, because life is long. Your kids need you just as much. You just as important. I've seen guys take themselves out the equation and kind of like vibe, kind of like things roll like they roll because they figure, well, mom is more important. Let them live in a fantasy land about mom or whatever, and they like short sell themselves. And all I'm trying to tell you is you just as important. You are just as important as mom. So there's somebody, maybe it don't apply to you, person. I'm not looking at my comment section, but if you're a person disagreeing with me now, that's fine. It don't apply to you. But there's a brother listening right now who has sold himself short, who doesn't realize how incredibly important he is to the development of those children. You are very important, not just your money. Last thing I'm talking about is money. I'm talking about you, your soul, your heart, your voice. Damn what I would give to hear his voice. So just know you matter. We love you. Your kids love you. The community needs you. Your family needs you. And we need each other. So let me end it on that. Now, Mrs. Black, what episode is this?
This is episode 12 of The Black Table.
Episode 12 of The Black Table. Believe it or not, the show is not about Tim Black talking to dads, though it could be. Look, man, I got nothing but love for my brothers out here holding it down and brothers trying to, and I know all the struggles, man. I do. But we're going to get into a little bit of this politics, man. Our first story is it Cornel West?
Mm-hmm. Okay. Dr. West, campaign change.
Campaign change. Okay, so guys, I don't know if you've been in town, maybe you went on Mars or something, or maybe just busy working, right? I'll say Dr. Cornel West, my brother, my friend Dr. Cornel West. Shout out to Dr. Cornel West, his lovely wife, Anahita, Mrs. West. They came on the show and they broke the news that Dr. Cornel West is now running with the Green Party. Now, some of you may not know that he came on my show and broke the news because some people were saying he went on other people's shows, that he went on a couple hours and 3 hours later. But see, he came on my show first and made that announcement. And then all the other people who saw him go on the other show didn't care that he came on my show and said it because I'm persona non grata. And you know why I'm persona non grata? Because I fight for black people and I say it with my chest. That's why. And that's a no-no, not just in the Democratic Party, not just in the Republican Party, not just in the People's Party, the White People's Party, but in all parties except the Bloc Party. So that's what that was. But look, guys, hey, not that it matters. It don't matter where he broke the news, but I would like to put a little bit of respect on my name. Put some respect on the Black Table. So Dr. Cornel West is running with the Green Party. And here goes the thing we need to take away from this. Dr. Cornel West listened to the people. He said, I don't got time to be dealing with a lot of the repercussions and the problems that are going on with the People's Party. He did not drag them. He did not disparage them. He did not jump on their backs and start tearing them down. In fact, he said, I'm not going to do that. He said, I'm just going to separate myself because what I'm trying to do is bigger than the party, is bigger than our relationship with these people, it's bigger than who I'm running with. It's about the people. And if this is going to detract from my message, I got to get away. So that's why he left and went with the Green Party, because the Green Party, not that it's perfect, but it has more infrastructure. It is better known, and it doesn't have the baggage that the People's Party has. And as someone who has been beefing publicly with the People's Party for over 2.5 years, me, Tim Black, who lost many relationships and many friendships and many business opportunities behind not standing with them, I feel vindicated. I never told Dr. West what to do. First of all, you can't tell no grown-ass man what to do. In fact, I didn't even offer my benefit of my advice on the matter. Not my business who he's running with. I'm so glad to hear that was his decision. I was going to support him anyway because I'm supporting him, not the party. Same reason why if you ran tomorrow, I would have to support you. If you ran as a Democrat, I had to find a way to support you beyond your party because I don't support the Democratic Party. Unlike some people. So the point is, Dr. Cornel West is running with the Green Party because it makes more sense. They have the infrastructure, they have the ballot access, but people act like ballot access is so hard to get. It's just money. If you raise money and you get the petitions, you got a popular person running, you get enough signatures, you get on the ballot. That's all it is. Stop acting like ballot access is impossible to get. Ballot access is not hard to get if you got a good candidate running with you so that you can raise money in these locations in order to get ballot access. And if you got a name like Dr. Cornel West, they would have been able to get ballot access. The problem really is, in my opinion, is all of the baggage. And Mrs. Black, at first I was like, why are these people still mad? Like, I voiced my opinion. I had it out with Nick Bronner. That's the president of My People's Party, the guy who runs it or whatever, him and his dad, whatever. And that was because they wouldn't put reparations on their website. They made some comments. They disrespected a couple of the African-American folks, some of the black folks, African-American or black organizations within the volunteer environment within the People's Party. They felt disrespected and slighted. When they came to me, it sounded like the People's Party weren't taking them seriously. Like they were like, oh, we're going to side with the Klan people. We're going to side with the people that like to use the N-word in our chat. It just didn't make sense to me. I'm like, in 2020, we still got white people calling black people the N-word in groups, on Facebook and on whatever this is, and you are okay with that? You want to make that the equivalent of calling someone a Karen? Oh, hell nah. So the point is, they had to get the hell out of there. And I agree with that change. But there were some people that were so still upset about it. I was like, man, they're really pissed off about the People's Party. They left, they no longer work with them, and they're still pissed off. And Mrs. Black said something to me that really made me realize that I try to be empathetic, and I'm not always as empathetic as I should be. Mrs. Black, what was your point about that?
Well, from these folks' concerns, I do know 3 individuals who put a lot of time and energy into the development of this party 2 years ago. And for them to be treated the way that they were, it's disheartening, first of all, because it's supposed to be a party for all of us. And when you're called racial slurs, in an environment that you're supposed to, be one on one accord, and we're all trying to get away from this 2-party system, it was very hurtful for them to be exposed to the hateful words exchanges that were made. So they all left because they were hurt. And then when they came out, they were expressing this hurt. And I just felt like they needed a platform or somewhere to go to say, this is what's going on with this party. We need to do something about it. We need to shut them down. We need to expose what's going on here. And it just seems like there was a deaf ear. But folks can be traumatized greatly if you're giving your time and you're giving your energy and you have love for this new commitment to something that you think is going to be something that's just going to crack this 2-party system. So I just felt for them. And I understand why they continue to express, that disheartenment. And I just wanted to make sure that they had a place to say, hey, this is what happened, and be able to project those feelings and for folks to understand and actually be able to do something about it. So when they come out and say, don't send any money to the People's Party because we don't know what's going on with it. Just the way that they treated us, we're not quite sure what they would be doing with your money. You send that to them, we're not quite sure what they would be doing to your funds. So I think that us having a safe place for them to come and to talk about that, and then be able to express that to the powers that be, gives them some type of relief,
Absolutely.
that they're able to be heard and be able to get all of the things that were going on
when you use
exposed.
when you use the word trauma, that's what made me stop.
Yeah.
Because I said, wow, I'm not looking at this, from the perspective of people who put their hopes, desires, dreams for their family. Like they're involved in this not for cool points, but because they want to change the system.
Right.
And they throw their hearts and their time, they give it freely to you in the hopes of accomplishing something.
Right.
And then for you to disrespect them, and then when they complain about the issues, for you to turn your back again on them and then marginalize them, and then them not have a way to really voice it, not have, so I get it. I especially get it when Mrs. Black was like, that one word trauma, I think that word kind of like seals it, like, okay, you traumatize these people. And when you do that to someone, how they react is not you can't sanction. There are no guardrails for how they're going to come across or what they're going to do, and there's no time. There's no statute of limitations on trauma. Right. That's what the word is. No statute of limitations. So this happened a couple years ago, and most people have left the People's Party, but they still feel that way. It's like it happened yesterday. Right. So when Dr. Cornel West was running, there were people like, "Oh, I'm happy." Then they found out he was with them. They're like, "Oh no!" So now they're caught in a dilemma because they're like, damn, I love Dr. Cornel West, what he stands for, but he with these people, what does that say about him? And that's what created the problem. See, when you don't want that. You don't want to knock the wind out the sails over some shit you can't control. Dr. Cornel West doesn't run the People's Party. He was a personal honorary board member. He wasn't a part of the day-to-day activities. He out doing his thing. He had a 4-time podcast show with Miss Rose, I think it was, the tightrope or something, right? Yep. He got that going on. Then he's speaking engagements. He's doing this. He's doing that. He's all over the country doing stuff. And he ain't watching what the Bronner got happening or whatever the hell. He ain't in the Slack. Right. And then, of course, I'm sure who's ever talking to Cornel, if it does get back to Cornel, they're going to have a good excuse like, oh, Dr. Cornel, there's infiltrators, and there are people posing as Republicans sent from other organizations to destroy us, and they just throwing dirt on us and trying to slow our momentum because they said, and he's probably like, okay, my brother, well, I do know that there are some ways that people act devious, and they do, and, so he's taking his friends or his, I want to say friends, I don't know a relationship truly, but people he's known for numerous years, he'll take their word for it. So let me just put a button on this whole thing. Hopefully we don't have to talk about them anymore. Dr. Cornel West did the right thing.
Yeah, he called all of that a distraction. There's no time for distractions. He has other things that are more important to concentrate on. He's looking at a huge picture. So
He's looking at such a huge picture that now people that were shitting on him when he was running with the People's Party, now they're going to have to find another reason. Because now they can't say, oh, he only got ballot access in 2 states. Now it's 21 states. But of course they'll come up with something else because at the end of the day, they could have ballot access in every state. You're going to still say something because it's not the Democratic Party. And even if it was the Democratic Party, you would still do what? Back Biden. Because that's what you do. That's what you vote blue anywho mofos do. You're not fooling anybody pretending that you're independent when you're not. Be who you are. You are a Democrat. I could give you $1,000, you wouldn't wear this shirt. You know it's true, but the $1,000 wouldn't be enough to cover the pain and anguish you're going to go through by losing friends and opportunities that don't exist, that you make up in your mind about what you could one day be. You ain't going to ever be any of that shit. The gatekeepers in the Democratic Party is fool's gold for you fools. Both parties suck, and if you don't realize that, that's because you are delusional. So it's not really about Dr. Cornel West. Please don't listen to these people that tell you it's because Dr. Cornel West is running his third party. If he was running as a Democrat, they would have the same smoke. They would come up with something else because they are there to back whoever the establishment in the Democratic Party supports. Now, we know Dr. Cornel West would never run as a Democrat. His whole body would revolt. Every organ in his body would turn on him if he did. It's not who he is. He said they're the 2 wings of the same diseased bird. So I know that's not what he's thinking of doing. But even if he did do it, Mrs. Black, they would still have some negative shit to say because they are programmed. Unless Nancy Pelosi and the Democrat establishment co-sign, these folks are not going to challenge the system. Right. They want to be a part of the system. They are well accommodated and suited to the treachery and the corruption of the Democratic Party. They're just looking for a better seat at the table, Johnson. Check. Let's be very clear. If you're looking for a commentary that's going to kiss the ass of the Democrats, you're in the wrong place. We are not of the kiss-ass variety here. You might want to see if your commentator or your news source has ever not supported Democrats, has ever not supported who the Democratic Party say they had to support. Did they have the balls to criticize Obama in 2012 or while he was still in office? No. Dr. Cornel West did, so did Tavis Smiley. So did I. Go check my YouTube channel. I was in my prime throwing my future away, criticizing Obama. What was you doing? Is you his or is you ain't my baby? Did they have the guts to oppose Hillary in 2016, even when Bernie bowed out? Did they go Green Party and support Jill Stein? Or did they fall in line like good old farmhands do? I know what I was doing. I was supporting Jill Stein and the Najama Baraka. I was on the campaign trail with them. I was leading marches with them. I was holding events with them. What were they doing? See, you can't say you independent if all you ever did was champion for Democrats, man. Come on. That's like saying you don't eat chicken, but all you ever eat is chicken. That's some crazy shit. I don't eat meat. You sit and eat a hamburger. Not an Impossible Burger. An Arby's. We got the meats. Come on, man. In 2020, were they leading the charge against Bernie for not incorporating radical policies such as reparations? Or were they folding in nicely and snug into the establishment? I know what some of them were doing. I was the one putting out content. And I know Bernie's wife. And I still put that content out. She ain't unfollowing me. She just stopped talking to me. See, you got to be willing to burn bridges with friends when friends don't stand up for black folks. And all opportunity for them coming on my channel was done, and I was okay with that. And I still have not put out a bunch of content going after Bernie's neck because he didn't come on. Because that was a price I was willing to pay to stand up for black folks. Now, other people got a problem with Bernie not coming on their show. That's why they threw him under the bus originally. See, I know a lot of shit. My book is coming out in the next couple months, too. So what I'm saying is, folks, the Cornel West campaign is not just about Cornel West toppling the establishment. It's a litmus test to show what these people are about. And you need, see, every once in a while, something's got to happen. That's what I love about independent media, because you get an opportunity to see what people really are made of. See, people can say anything, but when it's time to do that coverage, when it's time for you to stand on it, wah, wah, wah. Everybody want to be a revolutionary till it's time to be revolutionary. I'm just asking questions though. I mean, hey, look, I'm not telling you who to watch or what to do. I'm just saying, plain and simple, Dr. Cornel West candidacy is important because it challenges the establishment. And look, I support Marianne Williamson for the same reason. I support RFK Jr. for the same reason. Because they're challenging the president. If you don't challenge the person in power, if your job is to defend the president of the United States, dog, you're on the wrong side of justice. I'm sorry, Johnson. Or you still want me to believe it's just the Republicans that are causing trouble? See, that means your mind ain't, you need to get your head right. Come on now, if you ain't fighting the power, that's like being at a prison. The conditions suck and you defending the warden because you had a beer with him one time. The warden runs the place. While the water's fucked up. And rats, people got rats in their cell and you're defending the warden. Then telling me you with the people. Nah, when them not locked down, your ass better not be around. See, because it don't make sense what you saying. So this is the stupidity, right? No, not stupidity. It's the hypocrisy, the cunning hypocrisy of these people. You could be a police officer on a shitty force that's underhanded, corrupt, full of deviants, jackals, and bigots. And when it's time for them to do when the DOJ get around to interviewing you, when the Department of, DEA or whatever, when they're investigating, you up here defending the chief who looked the other way on the shit. You have to say, well, the chief ain't all bad. He himself didn't kill everybody. I mean, he didn't shoot the kids in the back. He not the one who caused it. He just, it ain't all his fault. No, you can't defend the chief. The chief is part of the problem. Don't tell me you're going to back the chief. We got to do something about this. You either in with them or you not. At least with the cops, they have a job. You motherfuckers don't even have a job. You're just trying to get a job. These people are applying for jobs, and they're willing to throw us under the bus to try the opportunity to try to be Joy Reid's gopher. They're willing to throw us all under the bus to kick it with Anderson Cooper occasionally. The hopes of kicking it. Anderson Cooper would not have a beer with you. He'd throw beer at you. Don Lemon does not want to be your friend. He would not shake your hand. He would shake you from his presence. They don't want y'all. Stop kissing ass. But see, that YouTube money, folks, let me tell you, there's some people making so much money. Hey, man, I feel you, player. I feel you. All I'm saying is be who you are. Stop lying. Tell people. Be like David Pakman and admit who you are. I respect him. I'm not throwing shade. I respect a guy like David Pakman, who's a sellout, hustling piece of garbage. He's transparently a part of the machine, and that's what he wants, and that's his choice. And he don't pretend to be nothing else. He's like, I'm a Democrat, straight up and down. This is how I feel. I feel good about it, too. And I'm going to be that thing. I respect that. I don't like it. I don't want to kick it with you. We got different politics all the way around. I don't care if you do say you from somewhere in Israel. I don't know where some shit. I'm not really white. Shut up. Your politics is very white. But I respect his transparency. The fact that he's real about who he is. He don't get out here and pretend that he gives a shit about anything that I'm talking about. He's not going to pretend. It's the ones that pretend that we're in the same motherfucking lane. We are not in the same lane. Sorry for using that language. On Father's Day, you need a swear jar. Folks, that's all I'm saying. So Dr. Cornel West, this changes is important. Look, the Democratic loyalists fell in line, mocking Cornel's run and spouting BS talking points about Cornel helping Trump. Dr. Cornel West could go down and pull some Republican votes just like Bernie did. He can go down and rock the mic in West Virginia. He can. They never say that Dr. Cornel West could steal Republican votes because they are racist as fuck. They think a black man can't go get no white votes. Well, Obama sure got a lot of them. It's a lot of white folks that like preachers. That's right. So, it is what it is. They just use that talking point against Cornel West all the time. Oh, he gonna steal votes. I like Dr. Cornel West's comeback. He only said it one time. He said it on my show. I said, Dr. Cornel West, they smearing you, you know that. They're saying that you're gonna steal votes from Joe Biden. He said, hey, Joe Biden gonna steal votes from me. I'm black. He don't own black people vote. None of my, I don't want to use the word, none of my spoons are using that language when they talk about it. They think Joe Biden deserved a black vote. Why you up here riling up these good black people, putting them in harm's way? You know Uncle Joe got our best interests. When he did that crime bill, a lot of preachers agreed with him. They wanted changes. They didn't know he was going to give them triple life. So here it is. Here it is, guys. Dr. Cornel West. I'm not saying he ain't perfect. Hold him accountable. I will be holding Dr. Cornel West accountable. I am not a yes man. Well, there has been a time or two where I've been a little bit more than, I've been too biased because I was, believed in people. I still do believe in people. Senator Nina Turner is still a great friend of mine, and I respect the hell out of her. And I took it personal when she lost because I thought, hey, we all got your back, Nina. Yeah, Nina, come on, everybody, get in the car. Let's go down to Ohio. Let's hope Nina Turner win. And I got down there, and people I thought were my friends, I'm watching videos of them going, well, I don't know if she's really going to make any difference if she wins anyway. And other people going, don't donate to her. Do not donate. I'm like, what are these people that I've known for years? How you throwing our friend Nina Turner under the bus? We are all support her, right? And then looking at me like, who is we, nigga? So I felt betrayed. I got my whole family down in Ohio. We all there helping support Nina Turner. We canvassing. My sons are going door to door with flyers working in the campaign. I was too close to it to be unbiased. But I was ethical and I was real about how I felt. And everyone knew I supported the campaign totally. But I will be critical of Dr. Cornel West. If he don't put reparations up on that goddamn board, because you're going to put that up there, man. Come on now. Because that needs to be there. And we need a black agenda, too. You're running for president. You got to have a black agenda. Can't take nobody seriously that don't have a black agenda. I don't care who you are. RFK Jr., we're going to get to him next. RFK Jr., Marianne Williamson, I don't care who it is. You got to support a black agenda. Times have changed. Get your head out there. This ain't the 90s, man. Get that shit on the board. All right, I'm going to keep it moving. Mrs. Black, what's next?
Well, I just want to say, again, I'm very excited about him running. And if you want more information, please go to www.cornelwest24.com.
You don't got to say www.
Triple dub.
It's hard to say anyway. I'm so glad we ain't got to say that shit no more.
I'm sorry. He is still trying to pull me into the 21st century. I always joke about that. About these internets here. But yes, CornelWest24.com. Learn more about his campaign.
You should hear when she says computer terms like flatten the screen. You mean minimize? Yeah, flatten it. Baby, you got my thumb drive. You mean your stick? No, my thumb drive, baby. You got my. I don't need no stick. You got pistol? Where you get a pistol from? Who bought her a gun?
I'm trying. You know what I
mean. Yes, I know what you mean.
Okay, what's next here? We have RFK Jr. versus Biden.
Okay, so Joe Biden is not a walk-in. He's not going to just walk away with this thing without any opposition for the Democratic Party nomination. Okay? RFK Jr. is leading. He's doing well. Don't get it twisted. He's polling at 15 to 20% right now. And that's just grit. That is just pure grit and determination and fire in the belly and all that stuff. That's all that is, because he ain't getting much press. That's no positive press at all from the corporate media standpoint. But he is doing it. He is making his name known. He has those points working for him. Let me get to something specific about him. He's 40 points behind Biden, but he got a long time to make up that. And Joe Biden is not that well liked. It seems that Mr. Kennedy is higher in the favorability column. Less unfavorabilities, put it that way, less unfavorabilities. So more people have a negative feeling about Biden than they do about Kennedy. But once word gets out that he's running and what he stands for, and he's got some stances that are controversial, I get that. It's only controversial because it's not following the talking points of the elites. Some of the things that he talks about are things I hear people say all the time, like, I don't trust this government. I don't trust this. I don't trust that. That's against the law. I can't even say it on my show because they'll ding me again for it. They'll ding me one time 2 years ago. That ding stays on your channel forever. They never take it away. Could Kennedy win the 2024 primaries? It seems unlikely, but anything could happen when you consider there's a ceiling amongst Democrats. A ceiling amongst Democrats. See, the thing about RFK Jr. that's making it hard to determine is because he's ranking high with people who aren't even Democrats. We're talking independents. So particularly in these polls, they usually talk to Democrats. But places where independents can vote Democrat, see, that's where you're going to have a problem for Biden. Okay? Biden get to vote blue anywho's. He don't get many independent voters. So that's where things get dicey for him. Remember, we're talking about the Democratic primary. We're not talking about the general election. So RFK right now is getting a lot of momentum off the internet. He's been on a couple of shows. He was interviewed with Elon Musk, I think, on Twitter. He's most recently just did Joe Rogan, and we're going to try to get him here on the Tim Black Show because that's what we do. And hopefully he will agree to do that because I don't think I've seen him on any black independent media. And I'm looking forward to having that conversation to hear what he has to say. But yes, Joe Biden will face opposition. And I know this is the thing, the Democrats, you can't protect them. I put out a tweet and I say, look, the Democrats don't want a challenger to run as a third-party candidate. They don't want third-party candidates. They don't want Democrats who are in their party to challenge them. Damn it, they don't. And next thing you know, they're going to say, hey, forget it. We're not even going to have a primary.
Right.
We're just going to just pick Joe. Joe's our guy. Sit your ass down, which is what they can do. I mean, some of you have been around since 2015, 2016 when we had the DNC fraud lawsuit. Right. When the Becks ran that lawsuit, remember me back then? My skin was all straight. I was all young in the face. Thin in the waist. Never was that. Who we lying? Yes, we ain't going to lie to nobody. Thin in the waist.
I know you were.
Baby up there tripping. Thank you, Mrs. Black. Got a baby up in there tripping. Make sure we okay here. Testing. We good. So some of you remember the DNC fraud lawsuit where the DNC were being sued because the DNC won the back and they decided Hillary gonna be the choice. And it was a whole big thing because we thought that was illegal, but it turns out the Democratic Party can go in the back room over cigars and wine and decide who the nominee is because the Democratic National Committee is a private organization. They can run it any way they see fit. So when you send money to them, it's like sending it to the Tim Black Show. It's not an organization that's run like, it's not a democracy. They do what they want to do with their party. And if they want to run a bowl of noodles, they can. If they want to dust off Hillary again and say she's our nominee, they can do that too, because it's up to them. You don't matter. You don't matter. I'm sorry, you don't matter. But see, a lot of people can't wrap their head around that, so I just said, hey, they want to make sure that, they don't want nobody competing against Biden, so they don't want no third-party competes, and they don't want no competes within the party. Isn't that something? More than half of the Democrats don't want Biden for a second term, but you won't even let them choose somebody else. You're going to get Biden, though. I know that. I said you're going to get him whether you want it or not. That's how the DNC sees it. That's how they see it. They say, Tim Black, well, a lot of parties do that. They decide they don't want nobody to challenge their guy or their woman. I'm like, okay, that's fine. Do they do it even when they don't want him to run and they got the oldest president in record ever trying to go for a second term? Do they do it then? You wouldn't know that because it's never happened before, right? He's the oldest president ever. And people don't want him a second term. They only wanted him one term because they thought he could beat Trump. So it is what it is. I'm not saying RFK Jr. is going to run away with anything. I'm not saying that. I don't know. I don't think it's going to be that close. But if things keep going the way they're going, who knows what could happen? I mean, Jesus Christ. Biden was giving a speech in Connecticut where Biden ended the speech by saying, God save the Queen. Did you hear what I said? Biden was giving a speech in Connecticut about National Safety Community Summit, about guns, and at the end of the speech, Biden looked at the crowd and said, God save the Queen, man, and walked away. And we know the Queen is dead. What is he talking about? Who is he talking about? Somebody come get Joe. That's your guy. And you think that people don't have a right to say, hey, can we look around first, please? Anybody else back there? Got anybody else want to play? Hey, man, can you play? You ever had that kind of... You ever play basketball? We was kids. We gonna play a game of 3-on-3 or 4-on-4 or 3-on-3? Probably. You're like, oh man, we can't have him. He can't shoot. He can't dribble. We can't do nothing. Anybody else want to play? I know it's mean, but anybody else looking around and shit? Hey, lady, walking your dog. You know how to play basketball? I know speaking. You come speak today, I bet you are more athletic than this person. This person does not need to play ball ever. That's Joe Biden. That's how people feel about Joe Biden. They do not want Joe Biden being the guy. And don't get me wrong, there are a lot of people who are kissing a lot of butt cheeks who do want Joe Biden to run. my grandbaby in the house. I guess we got to worry about what she say. Can't talk shit. Hi. Oh. So anyway, RFK, we'll see what RFK Jr. does. He's going up against the establishment. The only thing that has me a little queasy about him is he's so anti-establishment. I hope it's not a shtick. Because like the momentum is surrounding things that are totally anti-establishment. I want to hear where he is on regular bread and butter issues.
Right.
Let me see how you feel about other stuff. All I'm hearing is the stuff that's triggering. Transports. Why is it crazy to say you don't want a male-born person to be able to play sports with female-born? Like, why is that radical? Most people feel that way. Why is it crazy to say that? See, that's how the Republicans get the Democrats kicked in the gut. They kick the Democrats in the gut. Because the Democrats, they stand on stupid shit. That's stupid. It really is. We got to come up with different ways to accommodate situations. That's all. But you let the Republicans run away with that tactic, and now they're going to trigger people. It's like it makes Democrats seem like they're in denial about reality. Mm-hmm. Shit like define a woman. Like how are people having a problem defining a woman? See, that's why I love being me, man, because I'm not running for shit. And if I was, I'd be the same guy. How do you define woman? Uterus, boobies, smell good. Well, let me take that back. Some of y'all. You know what I'm saying, though?
I think something like that has to be close to home. Something like that affect their family. Yeah. They have a young lady, a daughter, granddaughter, a niece who's in a sport and they're faced with this particular situation. They may sing a totally different tune,
Yeah, I do know.
Yeah.
But until then, they don't give a shit because the schools they send their kids to don't have these types of considerations. These extenuating circumstances would never apply to them, so they can fine with saying they don't know. I don't know. What's the difference? Mm-hmm. Muscle mass, bitch.
Right.
Square inch, pounds per square inch, dumbass. There it is. It's got nothing to do with feelings.
And you used to say, I want the same thing that I want for myself is what I want for my fellow man.
That's right. I don't know why people take that as being hateful. Yeah. We got to find a way to accommodate it. Right?
Right.
That's all. Find a way to accommodate it. Instead of giving people with who are not thinking of your best interests, giving them ammunition. That's what it is. Giving ammunition to people that don't have the best intentions. People with bad intentions, you're giving them ammunition. Don't do that. Just be like, yo, we need to come up with an accommodation. The problem is, it's got to be a bigger, I would say create another league, or I don't know. Hey, man.
Yep.
I'm down for an accommodation.
Right.
There it is, man. But anyway, I want to hear back to RFK Jr., I want to hear what his take is on, what's his take on these nine issues that are so culture war type issues. Like, I don't want to hear no more about this shit. Ain't that many, how many trans men or trans women are trying to run track, man? How many, where is this at? Nah, we got other problems. What's your idea about reparations, motherfucker? Talk to me about entrepreneur. Look, do you realize that this DEI shit is diversity, equity, and inclusion? You hear a lot about DEI. Do you know that DEI, the whole purpose of DEI is to root out discrimination in the workplace, right? That's the whole reason for it, right? Do you realize that DEI has discrimination within its own organizations? That only 3% of DEI managerial professionals are black men or black women? 3%. That means all the rest of them are white or something else. And their whole purpose is to root out discrimination. They got discrimination within the organizations that's supposed to be tackling the discrimination, folks. The Democrats love finding a problem. Democrats are excellent at finding a problem, diagnosing a problem, not fixing a problem, but getting a big bag for saying there's a problem. It's saying, we're going to get to it, boss. They pick up a bag of money and walk away, and you still got the problem going, well, I thought we're working on it over here. We're working on it. Ain't that something?
Is.
Once again, giving ammunition to the right wing to say this is a bunch of bullshit. And they're right, it is, but not for the reasons you think it is. They'll say some stupid shit like Tim Scott, there is no such thing as discrimination. America is not a racist country. Okay, so someone will say this house don't stink. The cat lady's house did stink. She had a lot of cats in it. It's not a stinky house. It is. The house don't stink. It does. Have you been in the house? The house stinks. It's a stinky house. Once you go and you open the door, it's funk.
She's so used to it. There's no problem.
What's this, nose drunk? That's what it is, Tim Scott. You. He is funny. He's funny. It's only been like 11 black senators in the history of America. And this motherfucker say, ain't no discrimination. And white people go, that's my guy. That's my nigga. I mean, that's my guy. That's my guy. That's my cool, man. If that doesn't tell you, so either you believe that only 11 black people in the history of America were fit to be senators, like Joe Biden, or you got to admit that we got a racial problem. Which one is it, Johnson? So both ways you lose, because either you're saying we're not qualified, we don't have the ability to compete with you, or you admitting that there's a problem. Poor Tim Scott. A lot of Americans don't know who he is, so I'm not going to waste time talking about him or Nikki Haley.
Okay. Okay.
Nikki Haley, Nikki who's denying that racism exists, meanwhile her last name is not Haley, her first name is not Nikki. Why? Because America's so discriminatory, she can't use her whole name.
Exactly.
White people be like, who is this Asian person? Where's my Nikki? Well, her real name is Nikki Rockabee. They be like, what the hell? Get her out of here. Is she American? We don't speak Chinese. Is she American? What is this? She's Indian. Go back to her, tell her to go back to her casino. We want Americans up in here. See, Nikki's been lying. I work with a guy like this. I told you about.
Yeah.
I work with a guy. I didn't know his real name. I thought his name was Joe all that time. So I had to reset his account one time, and I found out his name was Jose. I always thought he was Italian. He was Mexican.
There's a reason.
There's a reason. I don't fault Joe. This country made Joe say, let me stay out of harm's way.
Right. Smart.
Look, hey, he got the complexion to avoid the collection from the protection of the collection and the disinfection. But don't then tell me, oh, what's wrong? Everything's fine. Get your black ass in there and give it a shot. You know what the problem is, Tim? You're just not, was your tie straight? Nah, she saw my black face. That's what that was. No, what was your handshake? Was your handshake appropriate? You know, I know how to shake hands, motherfucker. That's that wasn't it. The hand is the top of my hand is brown. That's what the problem was. You sure it wasn't? Did you say please and thank you well enough? See, then black people start thinking it's them. So they think that they don't measure up because of something they did wrong. See, that's why it's a problem. It's a problem when you deny reality because you got a bunch of beautiful black babies thinking that they're inadequate when they're not. They're just dealing with a racist country. Right. And if you are delusional enough to think it's not, that it's something else, and you want them to live delusional lives and they will turn in on themselves and I realize that, nah, you good. These white people ain't perfect. They just got the complexion for the protection from the collection. And they gave it all up to be white because they from Ireland and Sicily and other places. They gave all that culture up to be white in America and avoid being treated like black people. The old world is what they call it. New world is black and white. Even Iranians. Okay, I'm going to keep it moving. What's that like? Oh, Ben Shapiro. Ben Shapiro put out a video that's so disagreeable. It's like, this is even bad for Ben Shapiro's standards. And look, Ben Shapiro has no standards. That's why he's so lucrative, so paid off, so wealthy, because he has no, been so low, you can't get under it. There's no level he won't stoop beneath. He will go as low will go. He's the guy who will break a bone in his back to do that mambo shit, that whatever, that stick. You hold the stick and it's got a...
Right. The limbo?
Limbo, that's it. Like, God damn, how did you do that? Ben Shapiro, but this video he put out, it's called The Woke Lynching of Daniel Penny. In this video, the Humanist Report covered this. So shout out to the Humanist Report on this. We're gonna give respect. And he covered the hell out of this. And I just gotta say, Ben Shapiro did a video about Daniel Penny where he said the lynching of Daniel Penny. And this is so disrespectful in so many different ways, it's remarkable. We got Ben Shapiro's saying, actually contending that Daniel Penny is the one who got lynched. Though Daniel Penny is alive and breathing and going to trial. And free on bond. And Jordan Neely is the one who's deceased. But in the mind of Ben Shapiro and some conservatives that support him, Daniel Penny is the one who's the true victim. Jordan Neely is nothing. He doesn't matter. You mean Daniel Penny, he's the one who was lynched? How does that happen? How does that occur that you are lynched but still alive? Well, see, when you are a snowflake conservative who gets to pretend to be victimized and run this reverse racism bullshit, in your mind, you can lie to yourself enough. Lie to self, 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 that, oh my God, this white kid is being mistreated just because he's being held accountable. Now, let's be sure about this. For those who don't know, for the benefit of those who are uninitiated, Jordan Neely was killed on a subway train in New York in broad daylight in front of the whole world. He was unarmed and he hadn't touched anyone. He said a bunch of shit. I'm not saying that was cool, but mentally disturbed people tend to talk loud and talk shit. Most New Yorkers New York is swagger. We got swagger in New York. I thought New Yorkers knew how people get out on the subway. New York subways are notorious. Almost as notorious or somewhat as notorious as DC subways. We've all seen it. Major cities, every major city in every metropolitan area with a subway system experiences this. It's not just New York. Okay, so let's be clear about this. Jordan Neely was choked to death. The medical examiner, not Tim Black, not a bunch of BLM protesters, not Whoopi Goldberg on The View, not Sonny Houston or whatever. Not Jamal Warner, Lamont Hill. Not Mark Lamont Hill. Mm-hmm. But the New York medical examiner ruled this a homicide. That means he was killed. The method of killing, what caused his death, killing by someone else's hand, that's a homicide. It's not a suicide, it's not an accident. Those are different characterizations. And what caused his death? What did it? It was a chokehold. Who applied the chokehold? Daniel Penny. Case closed, face closed. But Ben Shapiro says that Daniel Penny is the one who's being lynched. Did you just hear what I said? Daniel Penny killed a man. I know you want to say it was extenuating circumstances. Sort of like the one with a white guy who shot through the white woman, Miss Lawrence, who shot through her door into the chest of a black woman. You mean like that kind of scared? Where there's an unarmed black woman at the door because you just assaulted her 2 children and you shoot her in the chest of a closed door with a lock on it. Then you call the cops scared. Oh my God, I'm so afraid. I had to shoot her. Too bad we got ring cameras that show she was not breaking in your damn house. Right. So similarly, the defense of Daniel Penny is that he was so afraid. You mean the 6'2" strapping ex-Marine was afraid of the 5'3" Daniel Penny, malnourished, unfed, and off his medication. With no weapons, who had his back turned to Penny at the time, who hadn't touched anybody on that train. Well, once upon a time, one time before, he had a warrant for what? Was it murder? Because that's what Daniel Penny is facing, murder. So we're going to talk about charges people are facing, because Jordan Neely had not been convicted of murder, but guess what's about to happen? Somebody about to be convicted of manslaughter in the 2nd degree. And the crime also it's not 2nd degree murder. It should be a murder charge. Anytime you grab somebody from behind like a coward and choke them to death on a dirty ass subway floor, your ass deserves the full blunt force of the law.
Yep. Amen. That's
what should happen. I can't get over this dastardly demon. Dork from York with a microphone. He comes up with this scenario where somehow white guys are the victim. Not the homeless guy. He ain't the victim. He ain't the victim. He's been the victim time and time again. First of all, he's a victim because his mom was cut up. His mom was also killed by a chokehold. Someone choked the life out of his mother and stuffed her in a suitcase and put it in the middle of the fucking freeway when he was 14 years old. For some reason, Ben Shapiro doesn't consider him a victim. So he grows up with mental issues, mental concerns, mental problems. Ends up homeless, ends up dealing with mental illness the rest of his life. Mental illness should not be a death sentence. All this could have been avoided. All you do is let him go. And that's another point I think we should also mention. What I like about black people is we punch people. What happened to punching someone? Why come you just couldn't punch Jordan Neely? He'd probably still be alive. I don't know. Maybe that, or just hold him by the arms. Or maybe you don't touch him at all and stand between him and the ladies or whoever you were so afraid of from the words the evil homeless man with nothing in his hands was going to do. Once you stand by, stand ready. Do like Trump told you, bitch. Stand by, stand ready. You're going to lay hands on this young man. He didn't have a chance, man. Shapiro with a straight face argues it's Pitty who was the victim. Pitty killed a man. If he doesn't go to jail, that would be a miscarriage of justice, or what we black folks call Monday or Tuesday or Wednesday or Thursday or Friday or any other day of the week, because that's how often it happens where white guys like Daniel Pitty get away with killing us. It's amazing that Ben Shapiro would actually be able to say, well, I guess it's not amazing. It's pathetic that his audience is so deprived of facts that they don't know the mass incarceration statistics show that black people are 3 times more likely to go to jail than white people. But no, Ben Shapiro sold them on this idea that it's white guys that are going to jail and it's black guys. There's a 2-tiered justice system. So this is what the conservatives do. They say anything that they hear said on the left, and they flip it and they say, it's us, not them. We're the ones. Till you look at the numbers, you're like, Jesus Christ. Ben Shapiro's a lying piece of shit, but you'd have to look at the numbers, which is people won't do. That's why you got to go get ground news. Ground news. In the bottom of my video descriptions, I always have a link to it, because I partnered with them because I like the fact they show me the bias rating of the magazine I'm reading, the article I'm reading. I can find out the bias, the type of bias that that paper has or that news site has. It tells me right there while I'm reading it at the top. So then I can say, oh, okay, this is the left. Okay, let me go read the right. Oh, let me go read the center and find out what other sides are saying. Too many Ben Shapiro people don't do that. They just believe Ben Shapiro. If you believe that Ben Shapiro is correct and that Daniel Pitty is the one who got lynched, you need a history lessons, an English lesson, and a lesson in humanity. All right. Woo. Well, shit.
Did you want to talk about Biden?
I did while you were away.
Oh, okay.
I just moved the Biden story into the RFK story. Yeah, because there wasn't much there. You know, he forgets where his podium is, forgets where the sandbags on the floor are, forgets where his keys are,
Something
forgets
is going
who his
on.
wife. You know what? I'm beginning to think that Joe Biden does this on purpose. I'm not saying the falling down part. Not that part. You could die falling down if you're 80.
True.
Don't do that shit.
Right.
But I think some things he says, he knows he'll get a news cycle that's not going to focus on anything of substance.
It's just more people double downing on him about him not, being up to grade for president.
Well,
he has issues that need to be,
Well, thanks to the vote blue anywho, they don't care if he has issues. As long as he's not Trump. Doesn't matter. They don't care. It's sad. It really is. But I'm beginning to think that Joe Biden does it all intentional. It's like, you know what? If I can get them to look over here, they won't even notice this over here. Look over here. This is where you need to be. You'd be right. Come here, little kid.
Right. Okay.
Back over here. Look over here.
How about that?
Because it's too, like, come on, man. He's just doing stuff now. It's like, he's not even trying to be making sense. He don't even try to make sense anymore. Whew. Well, look, guys. I want to thank all my new people. I got a lot of new people that came to the show.
Welcome.
Welcome, new people, to the show. Thank you for being up, for subscribing. Shut up. Thanks for subscribing. Cut on all notifications if you're on YouTube. If you're on Facebook, did you guys notice that some of my trolls have left? So that's one of the good things about the Daniel Penny story. It brings a lot of traffic. But you notice I was getting trolled hard because those people disagree with me. And then they left. The Daniel Penny story, I believe, will be a great litmus test. There are people that won't cover it because they know their comment section will look like something out of a Freddy Krueger movie. That's going to be bodies everywhere. So they don't want to cover it. And they also know they have a right-wing audience. And they will lose people if they cover this story like this. It's so obvious. I mean, if you can't defend a homeless guy with nothing in his hands, getting choked to death, sort of like you couldn't defend George Floyd's killer, whatever his name was.
Chauvin.
Yes, Derek Chauvin. So they didn't cover that then really either because the same thing. But here's the deal, man. Here's the deal. We're going to have to. I'm not telling you this because I find joy in it. I'm happy to find that there are some people who realize there's some things more important than numbers. There's some things more important than numbers. Hopefully we can build a coalition, but I'm not putting my money on it. Till then, I'm just going to ride for what I believe in. Ain't my job to find ways to agree with people who don't have my best interests at heart. If you think that Daniel Penny did the right thing by killing a man on the train, then you're not somebody I want around. And I know we can't choose our family, but we can choose our subscribers. Jesus Christ. Woo! It is what it is. So look, man, I'm looking to bring more guests on the show. We're talking to some folks. I don't want to say who because then other people will go out and do it. I see you. We're gonna get the old band back together. I'm sure you are. Right on time. See me doing my thing. I know how you do. But yeah, it's okay. Send your suggestions to tim@timberlitetv.com. Let me know what you think. I'm gonna be quiet. We're doing some things, y'all. We got some things in the works, and I'm excited about it. I want to thank all my Patreon people, all my people that support the show on Patreon and on YouTube. I think I got a couple people on Facebook. Facebook is horrible, y'all. I had to sue Facebook. They're going to be in my book. I had to sue Facebook to get my little bit of money out of them. That's how bad Facebook is. I had to actually take them to court. It took me 2.5 years. I had to file a lawsuit just to get my little bit of money out of them.
You were the victor.
And they made money off of me.
Right. Yep.
I didn't do service for them. They made money off me. They didn't want to give me my cut. They just kept all the money saying, we don't like you. We don't like what you talk about. Well, give me my money you owe me then. No, we ain't giving you shit. Black man, sit down. Oh, not today. Me and Mrs. Black filed that paperwork on their ass.
Sure enough.
They kept not showing up. We had to get them served and everything. Oh, it's going to be in the book. It's going to be in the book, Facebook. Make life hard for me. I make life hard for you. Fuckerberg. All right. Then they going to hit me with something now. You're bullying people. That's what I like to say. It's called roasting. It's not bullying people. I don't know you. I think I'm following people around on the internet, bullying them. You on my page, leave my page. How am I bullying you on my page?
Keep showing up. Keep showing up.
This is my page. Right. It's got my name on it. It's a fan page for me. You're not a fan. Mm-hmm. You don't like me, leave. How are you not bullying me? If you're not a fan of my work and you're on my channel or my Facebook page, how is it that you're not bullying me by being here? It's not like I'm on your page. It's not like I'm following you to your content, bullying you. It's crazy how this works. But if I roast your ass, which is something black people are prone to do, it's part of our culture. You want to call that bullying? When I go to comedy shows, I love when the comedian got something to say. I'm a part of the act. Oh shit, it's memorable. I still remember that time. What was it? Was it Lavelle Crawford? Was it Lavelle Crawford show?
About the poetry? Somebody writing?
Yeah, no. I'll leave it. You remember the comedian? Was that the Improv?
It was the Improv. I don't know if
At
it
the
was
Improv.
Tony Rock or
it was the Lavelle Crawford show, wasn't it?
Okay.
Or was it?
It was a comedian. It was the Improv.
It was the Charlie Murphy show.
It could have been Charlie.
Could have been Charlie Murphy's show. We went to see Charlie Murphy, man, which is one of the greats. Give it up for Charlie Murphy.
I'm sure that was him teasing folks about the poetry. It's like, yeah, he used to write me poetry. He used to write you poetry. Or something to that effect, but yeah, I remember that.
Why you have to say that out loud, man?
Because you're a writer and a speaker and an activist and everything.
Yeah. I'm Tim Black. This has been Tim Black's The Black Table with the great, the one and only, the beautiful Mrs. Black. And we will be back next week, same time, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Times, right here on YouTube and on Facebook. Contact us, Tim at TimBlackTV.com, Real Tim Black on Facebook and Twitter. And yeah, I'm on Mastodon now too, whatever that is. Mastodon. Anything else?
Yeah, just everyone have a great week. Thank you so much for joining us. Be safe, and we look forward to seeing you next week. Take good care.
Have a happy Father's Day, fathers. Peace, y'all.